In this Relief Maker video, we're going to talk about the basic iterative loop that you're going to go through to dial in the settings to make sure you're getting the perfect relief. The first thing you should be aware of is that if you have a version of Relief Maker Pro, that lets you output really big width and height settings, and you plan on exporting a really big width and height setting, you may be tempted to just type that in initially here, maybe 4000 by 4000. And until you are actually ready to go to File, Export, you probably shouldn't typically work in those resolutions because it just unnecessarily puts burden on your graphics card and you're just going to keep doing it over and over. So while you're working until you are ready to export, maybe keep it at something more reasonable, like 1024 by 1024 or 800 by 800. Of course, if you've got a screaming graphics card, knock yourself out, play with it, but just don't shoot yourself in the foot having to sit there and watch the screen twirl for no reason. Anyway, we're going to choose 1024 by 1024, and the first way that we iterate is to see where we're starting at. So we're going to press go, generate relief. Now, the first thing that we're going to want to do when our relief is generated is probably typically to rotate it with left mouse and kind of get a glancing angle. And on first inspection of this, we can see, it's probably not high enough. We can look at our settings and we see our height scale is only 16, so that makes some sense. But we don't really know where it's supposed to be, so why don't we choose maybe 30? We'll tab out of the box, and we'll see we get this Regenerate Relief button. You can press that, or just press Generate Relief again. We'll wait, and that's a little bit better. Maybe we want it to be a little bit bigger, maybe 45. Tab out, generate relief, and that's starting to look a lot better. One thing that we kind of want to achieve is we'd like these buttons to be a little bit more prominent. So we're going to go find those in the scene because you don't remember what they're called. Let's click on it. So where's the this word, whatever that is. So if we go back into our show results, maybe we'll override that particular height scale and maybe we'll make it 60. And let's again look at it from the side and press Generate Relief. And we can see that those are starting to pop. Why don't we make those 100? And we'll press Generate Relief. Now we're starting to get something that looks pretty cool. So you can see here the basic process is create a relief, start messing with the settings, and just regenerate it. And you may have to do this a few times to get something that truly pops, but usually the default settings are going to be pretty good for most applications. Finally, you're going to probably want to figure out the bevel effect, if any, that you're going to want. And just playing with this a little bit, we'll try tiny and try to start on the lower end rather than the high end, but certainly play with all of them. When we press Generate Relief here, I want you to pay attention to the edges of the model. Those are going to get raised up a little bit, and depending on the way that we're going to manufacture this or show it off in a CG program, that might be a good or a bad thing. So let's press Generate, and we can see that we get a nice bevel effect, but we still maintain all of the other detail that pops out of the model. You can go kind of nuts with this if you want. You can go all the way to large and just see what that does. And we get a really prominent thing that's probably way too aggressive for what we want. So again, this is all about iterating. We'll kind of go back down until we're going to get exactly what we want. Tiny is probably good for us. Cool. So now that we've played with the settings, we've gotten everything dialed in, we've iterated, we're happy with it. Now maybe we go and we took the final output resolution and we calculate one more time. Okay. So now that we've done this, we've gone through, we've iterated, we've made, 7 or 8 different reliefs to get here, all in the span of a few minutes. And now we're ready to go to export. So that's the basic process. Look at it from the side, look at it from all the angles. While you're in relief result mode, just keep pressing Generate Relief until you get what you want and then export it. It's that simple.